Get the whole story.
Well, welcome back to Scoreboard on a night in which we are having a conversation with the man who's in charge of AFC Leopards, Dr. Dan Shikanda, a man who played the game in this country for many years. 10 years he spent at the very top, and then now he is managing one of the biggest clubs in the country. Before the break, he was explaining to us the way it's really, really hard for him to get sponsorship. He talks about reasons and excuses. And let me bring in Bernard. Bernard, you've heard the doctor say about just how hard it is for him to convince a corporate that, you know what, Leopards give you good value.
Yeah, I'm very eager to hear the excuses that he has gotten. He has mentioned a sponsor by name, and I believe it's because he holds that sponsor of very high esteem and was expecting that sponsor would come to them as well. I don't know, but one of these days we must again sit down with the chairman of FC Leopards and probably the chairman of other clubs as well and try to find out what is it sponsors look for in a team. Maybe that's the part we don't understand, because we know what teams are looking for from sponsors. They're looking for money to be able to bankroll their activities for the whole year. But what is it that sponsors are looking for from the teams? What is it that corporates are looking for from the Kenyan Premier League teams? Maybe that's the conversation that we need to have, and we shall not have it without the chairman of FC Leopards, Gor Mahia, Tusker, and all the other big teams that are there. I think when he mentioned the small teams like KCB and all that, he mentioned them in reference to how many titles, if any, that they have won compared to what FC Leopards and Gor Mahia have won. And I can feel the chairman. Yes. I needed to also, I'm waiting to hear the excuses that he has gotten. I really want to, but I wanted to also make a comment here. Let me just make a quick comment here. I was reading some very interesting statistics. Serena Williams and Lewis Hamilton want to buy Chelsea. They have joined the consortium. And I was thinking about the amount of money they're putting in there. They are raising $13.6 million to put in there. You remember Serena Williams already owns a club, a women's soccer club, a Los Angeles team called Angel FC. And they're trying to, I don't know whether we should now appeal to to people who own clubs outside, who might know exactly what it means and what it takes to turn around a club into a profitable venture to be able to benefit them and also the players. I don't know, but it's a suggestion that we need to have a talk about.
Okay, all right.
I'm ready to listen to the excuses.
All right, Doc, Bernard wants to hear some of the reasons you've been given for not sponsoring Ingwe.
The biggest obstacle or setback of Kenyan football with corporates, and we're in the 21st century, is most corporates, as you just open a conversation, they start wondering, our brand will be dragged into hooliganism. We have tried to kill this myth, and we are telling them we are actually having family affairs in our stadiums now, with the fans trying to come back. Yeah, but each and every time you approach a corporate, they will tell you the board will not agree because of the hooliganism they've actually been witnessing in our football matches. There's a top corporate in this country asked, when is the last time you saw fans fighting in the stadium? They could not tell me when the last time they saw it. But they have that reason. Okay, just we will write to the board, we see what the board says, and the moment they wrote to the board replied the same thing. Our brand will be dragged.
So you have to change the narrative then,
yes,
as a football community, that this is not what it always is. Plus, at times I feel when people highlight hooliganism, highlight violence, look, I'm not condoning it, it is wrong, but it's not like it doesn't exist in the UK. It's not like it doesn't exist in all those top European leagues, but it's just that maybe it's under control or it's more controlled there than it is here.
And again, there's something somebody asked me, in fact, 2 or 3 corporates. How much do you think the government is investing in football? They asked us, go and make sure you get some money from sports fund first, then we shall top up, because we want to come in a big way, and the monies we can give you, because they know they'll get better visibility, they'll be working with a topmost club in this region. If you look at our following, Happy Ken is one of us, and yet he's not in the statistics of the 6 million we are talking about.
Yes.
So, I mean, where we are not getting it right is, as a culture of our people still believe football or sports is not...
Ni michezo tu.
Ni michezo tu. Yeah, it's not a profession that I can want my child to go and invest. You remember, during our days, your parent could tell you, soma, wachana na michezo. So that's still embroidered in so many CEOs, in so many corporates, that at the end of the day, you sell, you give them the value they will get, but they just go back and... Are you sure, hooliganism, are you sure in Kenya we can pull these numbers?
But Daktari, I hear you and I understand, and I hear your frustrations. But what I'm saying is this, and maybe this is what you've not quite addressed. For the sponsor to come in, and they must see some sort of value. And by value means you really need to get back up there. You need to be serious challengers for the title.
Maya has been winning the league. Where are the sponsors with them? For the last 5-6 years.
You are the chairman of AFC Leopards.
No. But his point is, yes, I'm telling you, whether we win the league,
I have a suggestion.
Have that mentality,
I have a suggestion.
We will not get someone.
Okay, let's listen to Bernard. Bernard has a suggestion on maybe what's the best way forward.
I have a suggestion. And my suggestion is informed by the fact that we have already chased our tails for so long. So what Ken is advocating for, it will not work at the moment. And that is why the chairman is asking, we have been here, we have been winning, we've been everything, where are the sponsors? Now, I have a suggestion. I have seen before where we were having, as a country, a sports stakeholders meeting. And I didn't see AFC Leopards or Gor Mahia having that stakeholders meeting. Is it possible to have a football stakeholders meeting where the club chairman address the sponsors on what they have done, what they expect also to be done for them by the sponsors, and meet the sponsors directly? Is there someone who can be able to arrange for the same way we have bus tours every day? I'm sure Ken is usually part of those bus tours that are going to Kitengela, to Thika, to Naivasha to look at land. You know, somebody just offers a bus to anybody who's interested in buying land, and they go and show them some pieces of land and tell them this is what is being told for. Is it possible for Gor Mahia, AFC Leopards, Tusker, Ulinzi, everybody come together, call the stakeholders, and by stakeholders I mean the sponsors, call representatives of sponsors and sell yourselves to them? Could that work? Because at the moment we're chasing our tails, where the sponsors know that there's hooliganism. Now the Ken is saying, look, you should just show them who you are so that they give you money, and you're saying we have won the titles and they've not come. Is it possible to have a football stakeholders meeting, a meeting where the chairman, the representatives can sell themselves to the sponsors and let the sponsors know this is what we can offer, and the sponsors also say this is what we want from you, and it is worked from there? Can this work? Or with the situation that we have now of the ban making it impossible for that to happen, are we so far away that we need to sort out one thing to open the way for all the other things? Or what do we need to do then, Doc?
I think Bernard is right. Yeah, that can work. And I think where we've been, for example, let me talk about AFC Leopards. Where I am now, I can tell you for free what I've gone through with the sponsors. Remember, SportsPesa just walked away. Second, I had a sponsor who just halved his sponsorship. So we are trying to look at ways where we can build the value of the club, first and foremost, to bring it higher. And then after that, we see who we can attract. Because at the moment, when you talk about Leopards, I don't want to talk about the other teams, somebody will ask you, where is your training ground? When you tell them you don't have, that's a negative already. So we have been, for the last 1.5 years, in fact for the last 3 years, the time I've been in office, when I started looking for this sponsorship, and I realized it is so negative to go empty-handed, where somebody tells you, we can help you maybe brand your stadia, and you don't have. So we have been looking for where we can actually host Leopards, where we can say, this is our place.
Are you getting there? Are you close to finding it?
We are close to finding it, and I can tell you for free, I think before my first term ends, we should be having a home whereby we can say, this is our home, and this home we want to invite you, Okabi, to come and see what we can do to build the brand FC Leopards, to actually increase our value so that we can start attracting the Safarikoms and the Airtels and everybody of this world to come towards us.
I really do hope that they're listening to you, because you've mentioned them by name severally. Doc, as we wrap up just this segment on you and AFC Leopards and Kenyan football as a whole, maybe I'd just like a word on just how you've been able to get fans back to the stadium. What is that you've done?
We have made FC a daily affair, not only a weekend affair. You see, people have been waiting, oh, leo kuna game. But from Monday, we start talking about what happened this weekend, and then we are looking forward to next weekend. We actually are very busy on social media. Of course, at times there'll be negative people, at times there'll be what, but that has helped us drive our people back. And we've been selling hope to them. I like the word you used, hope, because you remember, we lost 16 players, and it was obvious the team is going for relegation. And we actually went to take our youth team. We brought our first match with Tusker. I had 7 youth team players. And on the bench, we had 7 youth team players with 2 players on the bench. But we have built from there. We've given them hope. We are not going anywhere. We'll build around this. And come next year, but for us to fight for Africa, we must start from somewhere. And we'll start from our home and then start attracting the best, then move forward.
Dr. Dan Shikanda, well said. I wish you nothing but the best. I know how much you feel about Kenyan football, and I really do hope that in another 4 years when we have this conversation, you will be talking about those huge strides that you have made. You've spoken about hope, you've spoken about giving his fans what would you call it, like a plan of what to do from Monday all the way to Saturday. Well, this Saturday, or rather this weekend, AFC Leopards is playing. They're playing Tusker versus AFC Leopards. Big game, that one. He called Tusker a small team.
It is a small team.
How eager are your boys? How ready are your boys for the task at hand on Sunday?
The team spirit we have now, we are going to enjoy each and every match. Yes, results is important. Results will come after we have entertained our fans. The reason why we are saying this, when everybody had ruled us out to survive in this league, we picked ourselves up, we started playing some good football, and we got some results. So where we are, we are telling our fans and Kenyan football fraternity that let us enjoy our football made in Kenya by Kenyans. Then after that, attract everybody. Then all these corporates we are trying to chase, they'll come.
Bernard, what's your standout fixture this weekend in the KPL?
It's going to be that as well, and probably just the fact that Tusker won against Gor Mahia in the reverse fixture of what was a little bit of a controversial result. They reigned supreme in that fixture against Gor Mahia, so they're coming up against an AFC Leopards that drew against Wazito. So this is going to be played like a... It's like AFC Leopards wants to prove to Tusker that we are reigning supreme over you, and Tusker will want to prove that what we did to Gor Mahia was not a fluke there. We can repeat it. So this is going to be like a cup final. That is a standout. And I'm really waiting to see the clash. You know, Tusker plays well without fans because they never have fans. AFC Leopards plays well with fans because they have fans. So it's going to be a clash off-field and on-field as well. And I think it's going to be an entertaining match like the doc says. The entertainment value will be up. But again, 3 points in that match will be of more value to either of the teams than just the entertainment value.
Well, the game I'm looking forward to the most is Mathare versus Bandari. For the simple reason, Bandari coach was the captain of Mathare, the one and only time they won the Kenyan Premier League. So Anthony Kimani has got to figure out where his loyalties will be lying in that game. There's the heart and then there's the job part of it. On to the EPL, Ken, because this is your domain and big games. This weekend, there's 3 key games. There's Arsenal United, City Watford, and then the Merseyside Derby.
Yes, the title race is shaping up. The bottom there is also shaping up. And I think your team, Burnley, has played very well today. They are presently leading Southampton 2-0. Arsenal, Man United, we start there on Saturday. Arsenal on really, really high. They beat Chelsea last night. So they want to continue. And you know, they had lost 4 matches on the trot. Maybe Arteta now finally has it. Manchester United, with news of a new coach coming at the back of a 4-0 loss, probably expected. Maybe we'll also try and, there's Chelsea West Ham, which is also a derby on Sunday. I think that would be a good one.
It's okay, Ken. Go to the derby you want to talk about.
Okay, the Merseyside derby, which is also on Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. Everton are looking every day more like they are going down, coming back, going down, coming back. I think they will survive, however. But Liverpool in really, really rampant form, forward line that nobody seems able to stop. And they're not scoring just goals. They are scoring classic goals. You see, that's the problem.
Daktari, which is the game in the EPL? Locally, I can't ask you because you've got to stay neutral. You know, you don't talk about your opponents. But in the Premier League over the weekend, once you're done with Ingwe,
I think Liverpool versus Everton, because if you look, Arsenal, Manchester lost its flavor. Nowadays, they're just they are other teams. So
Bernard wants to throw a stone at you.
No, because that's the fact. If you look at what is happening to Manchester, you wonder, with all that financial muscle. We are crying for financial muscle. Somebody has a serious financial muscle and cannot put a team together. That's a joke.
Thank you, Doc. Let's turn our attention to a sport that is so close to Bernard Otieno's heart. You have no idea. This weekend is a huge boxing match. It's out at Wembley. 94,000 fans are expected there. Who's fighting who? Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. Bernard?
Yeah, I told you it was coming. It was going to be a very, very big one. Even by the time the negotiations were going on, you saw the rigmaroles that were accompanying that. You saw the ups and downs that were accompanying it. It's an 8-20 kind of game where Fury will get 80% of the purse money and Whyte will get 20%. But I can tell you that 20% chance is the one that Dillian Whyte is taking. Now, this is a man who is the WBC ring champion and the other is the WBC interim heavyweight champion. So at Wembley, it's going to be a very, very big one here. Earlier reports, and I remember we were having a conversation with Ken about this when he says that was a fake news and all that. But much like this usually elicits a lot in terms of social media kind of following as well. And people are already saying that Tyson Fury had been found guilty of using illegal substances. You know, because he previously had been of that some years back. But of course, the voluntary anti-doping agency had confirmed and cleared both of them. So this is something that's going to happen. I think that is just people who are trying to have a banter to dissuade one another. But if you go by what happened the last time, boxing is a very interesting sport as well. It doesn't mean that Fury can reign supreme over Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's 20% is just as much as the 80% of Tyson Fury.
Bernard,
so we expect to see an explosion on that day.
Bernard, just looking at some of the stats, Tyson Fury is 6'9", Dillian Whyte is 6'4". One has 31 wins, that's Tyson Fury. Whyte has 28. One has a reach that's longer than the other. Every single stat I look at this seems to favor Tyson Fury.
Now, look, don't look at those. Don't look at the reach and all that. That is just a measure of the jab and how far it can go. That's just a measure of the jab. But I can tell you, I have seen shorter, stokier boxers actually upset those ones with a longer reach. The longer reach can keep the other boxer away. But I'm telling you, if that boxer sidesteps and comes in, their punches are usually harder than the others. We had boxers even in the Kenyan hit squad who were shorter. One of them, I think, was called Kawata Maina. He shorter, but would upset his opponents very badly most of the time. And then this is pro boxing. So there's nothing about the reach going to keep me away. No, it's
so
you hit me
in
and
a
I
word,
hit you. We go round for round.
Bernard, in a word, who wins on Saturday? One word.
One word.
This might be a draw. This might be called for
Bernard is sat on the fence. Ken, who wins?
This might
Tyson
be called
Fury
for a draw.
will win.
Tyson Fury
But
wins.
if you ask me who I'm rooting for, I'm rooting for Whyte. That's the person I'm rooting for. But looking
Fantastic.
at all the statistics, this might be called for a draw.
So Bernard Otieno is rooting for Dillian Whyte, who's not getting 20% of the pass. The two gentlemen in studio, I all believe the Gypsy King will reign supreme. Now, something else happening this weekend is the Formula One. We are down to Italy at Imola. Remember, Charles Leclerc has been in a class of his own in the first 3 races of the season. Now, Ken, this is the first one where we are having sprint qualifying.
Yes, very interesting because they have a practice session tomorrow morning, Friday, and then in the evening they go for a sprint. Now they go for
qualifying pole for the sprint.
Qualifying pole for the sprint.
Yes.
And then on Saturday morning they use those positions to do a sprint where they run 3 quarters. They drive 3 quarters the race, and then how they finish determines now who starts in pole on Sunday for the main race. I don't know what effect
Are you
this
going
is
to
going to
see a
have.
change? Do you think there will be a change? Or Ferrari will continue to dominate?
Ferrari is looking quite dominant, and they are already quite many points ahead. I don't know. I think I don't want to
do you watch Formula One?
I thought it will by now could have reached Formula 3 to start getting into it. But my sons do.
Your sons watch Formula One. They watch it on your behalf. Yes. Bernard, will Mercedes maybe make a few changes? Do you think they might have closed the gap on Ferrari and Red Bull?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think one of the things that the Lewis Hamilton team was trying to do is they fixed a light under the vehicle and it actually happened to be a sensor. They were trying to find out why the car was purposing. You know that animal, that mammal that lives in the water that's called a purpose. It usually comes up and down. The Mercedes car was bobbing up and down. It's coming down the streets, and they're trying to find out the reason why. And I think they're still trying to adjust to even the new rules as well. This rule of overtaking and the bends and all that, and even now the qualification is going to change a little bit of how this is going to be run. But I still have hope and belief in Lewis Hamilton. I know that Leclerc and the Ferrari guys are up at the front, and they are probably in their home at the moment because this is at the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferri, the Autodrome of Enzo and Dino Ferri. So they should be feeling very comfortable there. But again, with the changes in Formula One, it's not very certain who might just take that first position. And this being the first time that this rule is going to be applied here, I really don't think that anyone has an edge over the other one. Everyone will be learning how it's supposed to be done in this one.
Yes, Bernard, and of course, remember that even that sprint qualifying has got points. So if you finish first, you get 8 points. If you finish 8th, you get a point. So there's so much to fight for. Before we go, quick word, Ken. Africa Sevens, qualifications for the World Cup and Commonwealth Games. The Kenya Sevens team is headed to Kampala, or should be in Kampala. Surely, they've got to do better than Vancouver.
I don't think they can do worse than get a point. They're got a point in Vancouver. But interesting mix in Kampala. I like the fact that South Africa is not there, because that's ordinarily our greatest competitor. The first 3 teams, there are 13 teams competing in Entebbe. The first 3 teams qualify for the for the World Cup, which is going to be in South Africa, and the top 2 teams qualify for the World Cup. So it's going to be a challenge. Kenya, I see, have recalled. They've called in
Alvin Otieno is back. Yes. Emon Wamalo has a debut.
Yes.
Lugonzo is back.
Yes.
Timothy Masi is
I
also
hope
back.
that those 4 can bring in some oomph into the team, which was clearly lacking in Vancouver.
Do you watch rugby?
Yes.
Small.
And I think what is at stake, qualifying for the World Cup and Commonwealth, should be...
They've got to do it.
They've got to do it.
Bernard, as we wrap up, can Kenya do this?
You can see the smile on my face. I told you Kenyans are very resilient. All we need is a chance. Obviously. No, okay, not obviously, but we are going to qualify for sure.
Fantastic. That's
We're just in the neighborhood, and we've got an addition of players. We've just come from Vancouver, where we did slightly better. At least we rolled over the US. So this time around, just in Africa qualifiers, of course, there's going to be there. That's my feeling.
Bernard, that's the spirit. Roho Jew. We have got to believe we can do it, Bernard.
We have to do
every single time. Gentlemen, as we wrap up, Ken?
Yes, tomorrow, Friday, we have the annual Libon Golfing Society, Libon Society Charity Golf. This will be at Royal. It's between the Libons and the Old Cambrians. That's basically Lenana and Nairobi School. If you love golf, if you love fun, if you want to enjoy, please show up in the evening. You're gonna see what's fun is on.
Ken has spoke about Cambrians and Libons. Doc, your parting shot as we wrap up.
Just to tell Kenyan football stakeholders, there is hope. Not all is lost. Let's be patient. Once we are patient, we will get to where we want to go.
Thank you very much. Absolutely fantastic. That is where we end the show tonight. And like Doc said, hope is there. Hope springs eternal is how I started the show. And I tell you what, from Kenyan football, it's all about keeping the hope, keeping the faith, and hoping that, like Bernard has said, tomorrow will be better, that Kenya will somehow find a way and continue to shine in spite and despite of all obstacles. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
KTN News. Get the whole story.